Cleveland County, good morning. We're out here in the middle of Cleveland County, right off Metcalf Road, north of Shelby. And I'm with three gentlemen, and there are more people here who are harvesting sweet potatoes. That's our product for the month of November. And what better place to be than to be helping with a project that is benefiting folks who are hungry in Cleveland County. This is Doug Sharp, this is Bob Watson, this is Bill Horn. These two people are the ones who started the project. So Doug or Bill, if you'd like to tell some of our people, our viewers, why you started this project.
Doug's the speaker of the group, so let him tell us.
All right.
Okay, we started the project because we determined that there were a lot of hungry people in pardon me, a lot of hungry people in Cleveland County. We started in 2009 when the recession was really getting bad. And we talked to some people who said that it would be a real service to the county if somebody could provide potatoes. So we started growing white potatoes and sweet potatoes. A lot of people have been very helpful in this, including the Extension Service, Charles Reed, and the Salvation Army, and Kings Mountain Crises Ministries. All of those people have helped put this project together. So this is our 7th year of production, and if Bob operates the tractor properly, we should finish the year for those 7 years with over 700,000 pounds of potatoes.
Oh.
Now, to put that in perspective,
Yes.
a pound of potatoes will serve is 3 servings.
3
So
servings.
that would be
Okay.
2,100,000 servings of sweet potatoes.
Oh, and Irish potatoes. Do you call
Irish potatoes too. Yes,
Yes. All right. So how many acres? And I believe I've heard you say people are donating their property for the use of the potato project.
We don't own any land.
Mm-hmm.
Bob Watson here donates the use of his land. We raise white potatoes there. We would never want to own any land.
Right, I understand that.
Most of the equipment is loaned to us. This tractor over here belongs to the Baptist Work Camp
Okay.
on Lafayette Drive. Bill Horn loans a tractor. Bob Watson loans us equipment.
Uh-huh.
So we try not to own anything.
Right. And I guess one of my burning questions is, you pick up, what, a million pounds, 700,000 pounds?
Well, this year we'll have about 80,000 pounds.
80,000
but
pounds.
in total, we've had the 700,000 pounds.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you preserve these? Because, we all can't eat potatoes 3 meals a day. I don't think people would want to do that.
Well, actually, the sweet potatoes with enough brown sugar and cinnamon, that wouldn't be a bad idea. But we get rid of the potatoes quickly.
Okay.
By the end of today, whatever we harvest here will probably be in the hands of somebody who will be eating it very quickly.
Oh.
We save a few sweet potatoes when we have enough, but we make no attempt to keep white potatoes. They're too perishable.
Yeah, oh.
But sweet potatoes, we can keep those.
Can be stored
Yeah.
longer. Okay, all right. So, do your people have preference? Do they hold out for a sweet potato rather than a white potato?
Well, it determines how hungry they are.
Oh, well,
The
that's
white
a good
potato.
answer.
The white potato is harvested in June. And as you
Okay.
can see, we're harvesting sweet potatoes in October.
Right.
So people are glad to get them whenever they come around.
Uh-huh.
But we get rid of them through the Baptist Association, the Kings Mountain Crises Ministry, the Salvation Army in UCAN, and they distribute them to food kitchens, pantries, different organizations.
Uh-huh.
So we have no problems keeping them. We don't want to get into the warehousing business.
Oh no, I'm sure. Plus they're perishable. And Bob, Doug just said that you're offering your equipment and your land. When did you get involved in this project?
My wife and I got involved probably 4 years ago. And when we bought a farm off of Jack Wilson Road, it had some land that was usable for white potatoes especially. We tried sweet potatoes one year, but the deer loved it so much that they cleaned the plants off before they ever matured. So that's how we got into it, and we also go to church with Bill and Doug at First Baptist. So we loan equipment that we have. You know, we've been able to acquire a planter for white potatoes that has cut down on labor tremendously. We can open the row, plant the potato, and cover it back up with one pass through the field, so that's been a time saver. And we have a larger harvester that we use especially for white potatoes. Sweet potatoes are a little bit tricky because of the vines, but it works really well on white potatoes.
Because they grow up?
The vine grows up, so as you harvest, you can kill the vine easily, but as you notice on the sweet potatoes, they creep across the ground.
Exactly, yes.
So you've got to be able to cut those vines and get rid of them, otherwise it gets clogged in the harvester. So that's why we're using this one with a middle buster plow to kind of roll the sweet potatoes out of the ground.
Okay. Well, see, I had never thought that they would be, they're a potato, so why would they act differently? But they're a different plant. Certainly, I understand that. And Bill, you've been farming a long time, and you farm because people eat.
Well, as you know, in Cleveland County, we only grew cotton years ago.
Correct.
I was raised up on a cotton farm, and so when Doug wanted to plant potatoes, I had no idea how to plant potatoes. My dad didn't fool with anything but cotton. He thought if he had enough cotton, he'd have enough money to buy potatoes. So when we come to potatoes, we had to start anew, but it's all the same process. You've got to take care of the land, you've got to have equipment. And we have been so fortunate to have guys like Bob, who's got equipment, and all these people you see out here who have been over in the hot sun and done the labor to do the job. And it's just been a fantastic project. I've said all along that I have been in the corner where I didn't know what was going to happen. But since this is God's work, He always has a plan.
Absolutely.
And we've had some failures, but we've had a lot more successes.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, guys, thank you so much. Thanks for watching Cleveland County. Look at these beautiful sweet potatoes. Stay tuned. We're going to be talking about the nutritional value of our wonderful sweet potato. Be back in just a minute. Thanks for watching.
Here in Cleveland County, many children struggle to develop due to the lack of guidance and shortage of positive role models. At the Boys and Girls Club, we make it our team's mission to aid your child in becoming a better student and, more importantly, a better person with a brighter future.
When your child comes to the club, you can be assured they are being guided in a manner that is beneficial to the growth as an adult that is visible in their lives. Please consider giving your child the opportunity to be the absolute best they can possibly be.
Please support your local Boys and Girls Club today.
There's a new way to help save the environment while getting rid of your everyday waste. It's part of Shelby's new curbside recycling program. It's quick, easy, and something so simple that even little recyclers can help go green.
Single stream recycling makes it easy so we can all do our part and do the right thing.
Register at recycleshelby.com. Once you do that, you can roll these city-issued bins out to the curb. Don't worry, we'll take care of the rest. Recycle Shelby, it's the right.
Well, Cleveland County, welcome back. We are in the studio with Nancy Abasiekong, who is the Director of Family and Consumer Sciences at the Cooperative Extension Office. And she is our guru for nutrition and storage and preparation. You do a lot of the recipes as well, I know, that are out on our website. So the sweet potato it is. And first of all, let's talk about the nutritional value of this beautiful piece of vegetable.
Right. Yes, Deborah, this is a fall vegetable, although it's available to us year-round. You know, we can get sweet potatoes anytime, but here in our area and here in North Carolina, the fall is the time for harvesting sweet potatoes and white potatoes as well. But sweet potatoes are a nutrient-dense food, vegetable, and that have a lot of vitamins and minerals and things that help us in many, many different ways. So it's a plus. It is a naturally sweet vegetable, so we don't really have to add sugar to it, but a lot of times people will add just a bit. But adding a little bit of fat to it, it's a complex carbohydrate, but it's having a little fat with it helps you to absorb the vitamins, the beta carotene and so forth, a little better, but not too much. Still just a small amount.
So even if you bake the potato and put a little butter in it, that would satisfy the requirement to be able to get more nutritional value out of the product.
Right.
All right. Well, that's great. Well, now the biggest concern for me is, how do we store these?
Okay. When you are storing sweet potatoes, don't wash them until you're ready to use them.
Okay.
And at that point, of course, you'll need to scrub them, use a brush to scrub them. But when you're storing just in a cool, dry place, not in the refrigerator. So this is one that you don't, and other potatoes as well, do not store those in the refrigerator either. Just a cool, dry, dark location. If you have a quantity, and you have a basement or a cellar or something like that, otherwise spread them out in a well-ventilated container. You know, get them up a little bit off the ground and let air circulate around them so that they can stay dry. You don't want them to get damp. And of course, when you're selecting your sweet potatoes, you want to select potatoes that are firm to the touch, no soft spots, no decay areas, and try to avoid any cracks or things that look like maybe when they were dug, they were chopped
apart.
in pieces and so forth. So, and of course, sweet potatoes are tapered, usually on both ends somewhat, and they are different from a yam. A lot of times we might call here a sweet potato or yams, but they really are two very different products.
But they grow the same, though. What makes the difference?
Sweet potatoes are in the morning glory family. They are a tuber, and yams are a root. Sweet potatoes are grown here in the South a lot, originated in the Americas. Yams are usually Caribbean, so they're imported, or the African countries, some of the South American countries, but again, those are two different things, although you may very well see sweet potatoes and yams, the names interchangeable, but the vegetable themselves are two different things.
Oh my goodness, well that's fascinating. Well, I do know in our conversation before we started that you could probably expect these to have a shelf life of, what, 4 to 5 weeks?
Right, 3 to 5 weeks, something like that, if you have them stored in ideal conditions or in this dry area.
But I think another way we could do that would be to bake them, am I correct? And then you can freeze things that are cooked, which would extend the life of the sweet potato.
Right, yes, and it would be a convenience item then. You have them in your freezer, just ready to go. When you're going to bake your sweet potato, just scrub it well with a brush, dry it, then put it in a pan, or you can wrap it in foil if you want to, or just in a pan. Start out at about 400 degrees for about 15 minutes. Then turn the temperature back to 375 and let it continue to bake. A medium sweet potato will take about an hour baking like that, but you'll be able to tell, just touch it and see if it's soft and ready. Then cool those completely, then wrap them individually and then put them in your freezer bags and label them and store in the freezer, then ready for use. The other thing you could do is go ahead and mash some sweet potatoes, or because they can be used in cakes, in muffins, of course, as well as pies and so forth that we're very familiar with.
Well, thank you so much, Nancy. We are celebrating our 2nd anniversary of Cleveland County Kitchen.
Yes.
So I think there'll be a surprise when we go to the kitchen here in just a few minutes. So stay tuned, Cleveland County. We'll be in the kitchen cooking our sweet potato.
Right here, right now, right here, right now.
Hi, I'm Steve Putnam, and I'd like to invite you to join me for the next Talk of the Town. Each week I get to meet with some of the most interesting people in Cleveland County, and each show is packed with information you need to know to stay connected to our community. From promoting upcoming events to discussing local subjects that impact you, Talk of the Town has a little something for everyone. Plus, we're on every day, so it's easy to catch up with us. That's Talk of the Town, every day, every week, right here on C19 TV, Cleveland County's channel, only on Time Warner Cable.
Kids will spend 15 minutes watching online videos like this one.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
Welcome back, Cleveland County. We're in the kitchen right now with Gregory Ager, who cooks currently at the Neal Senior Center.
Yes, ma'am.
He is our chef for the month of November, and we are highlighting sweet potatoes. And Gregory, I just want to tell you that this is a special day. This is our 24th program. 2-year anniversary.
Well, congratulations.
Well, you're welcome. And you're here to celebrate with us with sweet potatoes.
Yes, ma'am.
2 years ago, we cooked with sweet potatoes. It was a sweet potato pie, and now we're doing a sweet potato casserole.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So, the sweet potatoes came from the ground. We saw that happen out at the Sweet Potato Project.
Yes, ma'am.
Which is just the most wonderful thing that happens in Cleveland County. To be able to feed people, a lot of people.
Yes,
I was at
ma'am.
the Senior Center to talk with you.
Yes, ma'am.
And I saw boxes there that they had given you all.
Yes, ma'am. And we're going to use them potatoes for our Thanksgiving feast, which will be this week.
Oh, well,
and you're
wonderful.
invited to come by.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. Well, let's get right into the recipe, Gregory.
So what we're doing here today with this sweet potato casserole, like you said, we take our these are some nice looking sweet potatoes. We take our sweet potatoes and we boil them.
Mm-hmm.
What I do is boil my sweet potatoes until tender, and I will drain the water from them.
Okay.
And I will allow them to cool to room temperature, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will peel my potatoes, and I will come to a state.
Okay,
like
it's,
this
in other words, you just take the skins off and pop them in there.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, I do have a question to boiling. Do you prick your sweet
Yes,
potatoes?
I give a little prick on the sweet potatoes.
Okay.
A lot of people just take a knife, a sharp knife. and
Okay,
just
okay.
stick
Well,
little
I usually take a fork
Yeah.
and prick all around.
Whatever,
That's
just
so
to-
I guess it doesn't explode.
Exactly.
Very good,
exactly.
very good.
And what my recipe calls for, like I said, I take my sweet potatoes and peel them,
Mm-hmm.
and we have vanilla extract. Or you can use imitation vanilla, but prefer vanilla extract is better.
Right.
And we have a tablespoon, but today I'm using imitation vanilla, so
Okay.
I will use up the recipe just a little bit from a tablespoon
Okay.
to 2 tablespoons because of the difference.
I
Yes,
understand.
ma'am.
I understand, certainly.
So we get our vanilla extract in.
Yes.
And I like to use reduced milk, so instead of whole milk. So we do a half a cup of milk.
Okay.
All right.
You're going to measure that by sight.
Yes,
Yeah.
I learned.
That's what
And we have a
cooks
half
do.
a cup of sugar.
Okay. All right.
Yes, ma'am. We have 2 eggs.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, I'm going to get that,
Thank
all
you
this
so
out
much.
of your way. I can be involved in the cooking here.
Look, butter.
Okay,
It's
that
a
would
tablespoon of butter.
be... Okay.
And we're going to get to mashing now.
Okay.
We'll mash and get it. A lot of times I like to get that egg, Miss Blanton. I like to whisk that egg and get it beat up, but you can beat it up real fine with the masher.
And I believe you also said when you cool them, you still want them probably fairly warm.
Yes, ma'am.
So that your ingredients, especially the butter, will
It'll
melt.
get melt down in there. And
You don't want to
everything.
cook, you don't
a
want it
nice-
hot so it cooks the egg, but you want it warm enough to
There
melt the
you
butter.
go.
And probably the sugar a little bit too.
A nice consistency. Get that mashed real good. A nice, quick, simple recipe too, Miss.
Oh,
Blanton.
and that's so good.
Yes, ma'am.
And I believe, Gregory, because I know you can multitask here,
Yes,
because
ma'am.
you're going to add all
I brought
this
out-
as we're talking.
This will be our topping on this side.
Oh,
we get our,
I'm sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
Of course.
Yes, ma'am. We have our topping, but the sweet potatoes mashed,
All right, that's
and
great.
we'll transfer that into a baking
Into your
dish.
baking dish,
Yes, ma'am.
okay.
I'm sorry. Let the camera get a good look at that.
And by the way, this recipe will be out on our website
Yes, ma'am. We get that
with
in there.
with the amount of butter and sugar and
Yes,
all
ma'am.
that. Yeah, we've got it right here. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, the Neal Senior Center has
Yes, ma'am.
lunch every day but Friday.
Every day but Friday, 11 to 1.
11 to 1.
11 to 1.
And it's, how much is it?
As for seniors, it's $5 a plate.
Okay.
$5.50 a plate for senior-
regular
for
people.
regular
For
people.
regular
Yes,
people.
ma'am.
Well,
Well,
we're all regular people. But
If you're
younger
over-
than,
if-
oh
younger than
my, younger than
55.
seniors.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Oh yeah, younger than 55.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay.
And we do great food over there. I would like for you to come by
Oh, you
sometime and
do?
see us. I know you come
Oh,
by.
I do. I do. I have been there. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Yes.
So after we get our potatoes into the baking dish, and now we're going to do our top. Can we get rid of this?
Oh,
right
sure.
here,
Of
miss?
course you can.
All we're doing here is we're taking our brown sugar, half a cup of brown sugar,
Okay.
half a cup of flour,
Regular flour.
regular
okay.
flour, yes ma'am, and we'll take that pecans, crushed pecans.
Crushed pecans.
And what we're doing here, Miss Blanton, is we take a little bit of butter. We're going to get into this with our fingers, okay?
Oh, good. Yeah.
Go cook, get into it with his fingers. We take that butter.
And that's what, about a tablespoon?
About a tablespoon of butter.
Okay.
It depends on the size of dish you're making, but for this dish, it's about a tablespoon of butter.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
okay.
And we're going to get into this with
Oh,
our
I
fingers.
love
right?
it.
We're going to get
And while
into
you're
this
doing that,
real good, and we're going to get it very worked in there. Real
very
good.
crumbly.
Yes, ma'am.
Crumbly, that's
Yes,
a good
ma'am.
word.
Crumbly.
Well, I know you've been cooking since you were 16,
yes,
is that
ma'am.
right?
Yes, ma'am.
And where you learned this, your great-grandmother raised you.
Frances Ager. Yes,
Oh,
ma'am.
my.
She raised me. My mother was young when she had me, and so my grandmother, my mother's grandmother raised
Yes,
me.
yes,
ma'am.
yes.
And I used to sit in the kitchen and watch her at times, and my great auntie. I used to watch them cook at times. My great auntie taught me how to can.
Oh,
Yes, ma'am.
my goodness.
Learned that at a
sure.
young age.
Sure,
Yes,
sure.
ma'am.
But I believe you have been everywhere
Well, that's
with cooking from down in South Carolina.
Yes,
some.
we did Flying J's in South Carolina, managed Flying J's in South Carolina. I did a pizza. I was in pizza for a while, too.
Oh, gracious.
I really enjoyed it, but
Well,
good old-fashioned...
That's where you get in there with your
Yes,
hands,
ma'am.
right, and twirl that
Yes,
dough.
ma'am, but good old-fashioned cooking is what I love. Yeah. It's what I pick. Now we got that all...
Crumbly.
Can you see how that is
Oh, I
there in there?
can. I
the
see
camera
it.
see
Yeah.
that real good in there?
Yes, yes, yes.
And what
yes.
we'll do after I get rid of these gloves...
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. And we'll take this, and what we do, I'm gonna get right in here with this.
Sure,
And we'll put that topping right on there. Look at that. that topping right on there.
Oh, my. And you'll be serving the sweet potato casserole
Yes,
this
ma'am.
week
This
for the
week,
Thanksgiving?
For the Thanksgiving feast.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
And it will be the same price?
No, it'll be $8 a plate.
$8
Yes,
a plate.
ma'am.
Okay.
And that gets right in there. And you bake this for about 30 minutes. The whole prep time about 30 minutes. Boil your potatoes, get your stuff together. And cooking time, 30 minutes or an hour, you have your casserole.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And
at what temperature? We
at
have to
300,
know
I put it in at 350 degrees for about 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Well, and I believe we have a finished product.
Yes, ma'am, we do. I will move this.
We are so organized today.
Well, thank you for everything,
yes,
ma'am.
sir.
And
oh, voila, here it
finished
is.
product.
Finished product.
Are we going to get into that and let you taste a little bit?
Absolutely we are. We're going to say goodbye, Cleveland County. Wish you could join us. This looks fabulous, smells even better.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next month, December.
And thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.